Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the High School Sports Beat. I am Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook. And once again, we are pleased to be joined by Matt Trabold. Matt, thanks for hopping on board.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, last week we talked about Section 5 players succeeding on the diamond in baseball. Let's turn the spotlight this time on softball players from Section 5.
So the legendary likes of Aiden Falk, Julia Martino graduated over the last year or two. That left some big shoes to be filled for that next big-name D1 softball player or players from Rochester, who that would be. Sydney Bolan from Fairport. She went from bombing homers, I remember being at these games, at SUNY Brockport in sectional games, going over my head, me out in the outfield shooting them. So she had 8 of those bombs as she went over to be a freshman at Central Connecticut State. So she's showing the power yet again at that higher level, at D1 no less. Then double-digit home runs as a sophomore there. She transferred the ACC in Duke for this past season. Obviously, a very big stage there. She hit .313 with some starting experience in her first year for the Blue Devils at first base in that shortened campaign. And then the even more veteran Halie Mariano, a versatile utility player from Pittsford Mendon. She just finished up her 4th season at Bucknell, started all 22 games before the NCAA closed up shop, hit .310, 14 ribbies. As someone who's not a huge power hitter, but she has a lot of pop for her smaller size, you could say, and was named the Patriot League representative for the NCAA Division I Advisory Committee, so a leader on and off the field there. And then a Pittsburgh Sutherland grad, Hannah Catallo-Stooks, just finished up her 2nd season as an infielder for the Canisius Golden Griffins. She started 53 of the 55 games the program has played in those last 2 years that she has been part of the program. So she's doing big things from a very young age there. It's very impressive, these 3 players.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. Now let's talk a little lacrosse, and let's talk about women's lacrosse and some of the top candidates coming from out of our area for one of the top awards.
So a couple weeks ago on the show, we talked about former Victor and current Syracuse women's lacrosse star Emily Howarshuk and how she was a 2020 Tewaaraton Award finalist, that Heisman for college lacrosse. So that list of finalists also featured 2 more Section 5 products in Maddie Howe and Caitlin Muir. Howe from Fairport, just like we were talking about a second ago on the softball diamond, is a junior up front for the team at Notre Dame. She had 40 goals as a freshman, then just under 60 goals as a sophomore. And then as the Irish ended the shortened 2020 season 7-0, she tossed in 16 more career goals. She just keeps going up and up. And then a fun moment for her over the shelter at home times that we're living in right now. She was juicing oranges in a video on Twitter that went a little viral, promoting a virtual game through one of the big websites versus Syracuse. So some fun there. And I think she probably knows Howarshuk from coming up through the ranks in Section 5. And then over to the Big Ten and the Michigan Wolverines, HFL Honey Falls Lima product, Caitlin Muir, also a junior on attack. As a sophomore, she set single-season records for the Michigan program for points and assists, so doing it big from a very young age again. And she impressed again as a junior, the team leading 16 goals. A couple other big names making Section 5 proud right there.
And in men's lacrosse, rather, I should say, Maryland guy doing pretty good from our area.
Yeah, so I'm a college hoops guy, to use a college hoops term here. This guy was a diaper dandy this past season. Jack Brennan from Irondequoit. He started every game this past season for a mighty Maryland team, always in the top of the rankings. That just doesn't happen for freshmen at Blue Blood programs like the Terps. You couldn't ask for a better first 3 collegiate games out of him. He had 2 goals apiece in his first 2 college outings against High Point, against Richmond. And then in that 3rd game, he scored the game winner to beat 6th-ranked Penn. It was 4 versus 6, a huge matchup there. Plus, what made all this even more of an impressive accomplishment for him is that a close family member unfortunately passed 4 days before his Terps debut. So he was able to have that on his mind and still go out in that guy's honor and really show up. It's a bright future ahead for Jack, and you really love to see it.
All right. Great stuff, Matt. As always, stay well, my friend.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll see you again soon. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat right after this.